Good morning. Good morning for those in the Southern Hemisphere. Please let me know when you're joining on and that you can hear me. I'm just going to go ahead and find this video and share it. Good morning. Good morning, B. How are you? Alma, kia ora. From New Zealand. Who have we got here? Darlene, Michelle, Mary, Ohana. So it must be getting late for you in the UK, Mary. How are you? What time is it there? I always know it's quite late because we have a beautiful Lightworker tribe. Oh, that's my other side of my view, my office desk. Good evening for Mary. Let me find this video and I'll share it onto my network. Okay, excellent, sharing. Good morning from Tweed Heads. Oh, Darlene, hello. Yes, please say hi when you're joining and where you are tuning in from. It's always really nice to see who's on and 23. Oh my God, it's quite late. Great number, 44 at the end there, Mary. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and I do hope that this session is going to serve you in the way that you feel called to be here today. So for those of you that don't know who I am, and for those of you that do, thank you for joining. My name is Jax, and I'm a very ordinary person who identifies with many different identities. I have the ability to channel with spirit. Oh, Tasmania. I love Tasmania so much. I have the ability to channel with spirit. I have a very close communication with spirit, and also I am so deeply connected with being a human being, and I am so honored to have the experience of being a human being. Hi, Sharon. Cara from Virginia in the US, 7:45 p.m. Wow, I love how that we get to access different parts of the world. So those of you that are watching, you've probably been called in because you saw the words light language. Who actually felt called because you were like, oh, light language? So the question that I have for you before we actually get started today is, do you know what light language is? Do you actually communicate in light language? Have you connected with your light language? Are you genuinely just curious about this topic because you've heard about it but don't really know much about it? Let me know where you're at. You aren't. We're all very extraordinary. Thank you, B. I love you. But didn't see the light language. Awesome, perfect. So you're here now, Michelle. Awesome. Okay, so who actually communicates with light language or has discovered their light language? The reason why I'm asking this is because Sharon, curious, know nothing, perfect. Because I just really want to understand who's on here today. And I know this is a topic that's not for everyone. In fact, a lot of people probably don't know, but it's perfect. But what I do want to let you know is that everybody can actually communicate in light language. And so that's actually an ability that we all have. It's not a learnt ability, it's a remembered ability, and we all have the ability to communicate in light language. So today I actually want to share with you, yes, I use it all the time, especially writing. Hang on, let me just see. And singing when I create. Yes. Yum. Darlene. Yes. I resonate when I hear, but I don't speak it yet. I love it, Mary. The mere fact that you've just said I don't speak it yet means that it's coming. Your soul knows. Your soul is ready. My heart was called, curious about light language. Okay. So I am fluent in trillions of light languages. Trillions. And I want to actually share with you my story. And the reason why I want to share with you my story is so you can really resonate with how this can be possible for you. So I turned 37 years old this year. So when I was the age of 36 last year, I actually discovered my light language. So for 36 years, I in fact had no idea what light language is or was. I maybe was introduced to it at a church a couple of years ago, where it's actually referred to as speaking in tongues. Now I'm going to really communicate this with you so we actually understand the principle of the language, whether it is called speaking in tongues or light language or gibberish. There is actually a basic principle that we must understand, that it's all one of the same. And I want to share with you, because those of you that feel called to this, there is something really, really, really special that we must know about remembering our light language. And again, it's a remembering our light language. It's not a learnt thing. You're not going to go out and learn light language as you would learn Spanish or learn Italian or learn French, or for some countries learn English. It is not a language that you actually learn. It's a language that you remember. Carrie, I will definitely get back to answering that specific question very, very soon. What is light language? So, well, actually, I'll answer it now. Light language is an uncorrupted frequency. If you can imagine the sound, who knows what a sound bowl is? A sound bowl? Any sort of stream of sound. Light language is a stream of sound direct from the universe, direct from source, direct from soul, direct from soul. It's uncorrupted by the mind. So light language is pure frequency in expression. Now, the reason why we have various different light languages is because we have an infinite communication stream of source, of soul, right? So some of us on some planets, in some other dimensions, and I'm going to go there because some of you might be like, I don't believe in dimensions, but hear me out. Just allow your body and soul to really hear this right now, because some of you might go, oh, that's what that is. So some of us are from this same dimension, same planet, same ancient ancestry, yeah, and our soul languages resonate with each other, and you can actually communicate. So it's like dolphins actually communicate in light language, yeah, because it's uncorrupted streams of information. It's purity, it's pure streams. Now, when I say that you can remember your light language, the remembering of light language has everything to do with surrendering for the light language. Now, we all literally started speaking light language as we were babies, communication in streams of expression, in streams of sound, streams of expression, uncorrupted. And then we learn a language, and the language, not to say, when I say corrupted, it's not a negative thing. The corruption is basically just a distortion or like a disruption, okay? So language, in fact, causes a disruption. I believe, and this is my belief, and some of you may agree or disagree, which is perfect. We all have our sovereign beliefs, is that if we weren't to learn a language, I believe that we would have been able to still communicate here on earth through light language, through streams of sound. The intelligence of our brain would have easily adapted. This is why there's like over 6,000 languages on the globe, right? So we clearly have the ability to learn because language is really just communication. Yeah. So we would have been able to actually communicate through light language, but language in itself, language, English language, Spanish language, the language is limited. There is a limitation in language. Light language is unlimited. So you can express in light language in full expression and actually express the fullest expression through the uncorrupted language of light language, speaking in tongues. Now, one thing that I really want to land is that light language isn't evil. Light language isn't evil. Speaking in tongues isn't evil. The reason why there may have been any labels around it being evil is because it was different. I'm just going to grab a tissue. So my journey with light language, just so I can really resonate with those who are like, I'm really curious about this. Do I have a light language? Yes, you do. You do. You're listening, you're watching this, anyone from around the globe, you have a light language. You are light language. You have sound. You have an ability to express uncorrupted information, uncorrupted expression. So light language is the basics. Like sound is the most powerful form of expression. So my languages started last year when I was in a position, I guess, of the fullest surrender that I have ever been in my life. It was a time of my life that I was ready. I don't know what I was ready for. I just felt called. I felt pulled. And something happened. I wasn't intentional about it. I wasn't like, I'm gonna learn my language. I'm not gonna learn my light language. It actually just happened. Yeah. And so interestingly, I had witnessed somebody do light language maybe like 2 months prior to my light language starting. I genuinely thought it was fake. I was like, what do they do? I didn't know what light language was. I didn't know. All I thought was like, are they speaking another language? Is that even real? Is that even a real language? That was me. That was me 2 months before my light language started. Yeah. So just know, like, so very human. I was just like that. But the interesting thing is, what I did know is that I felt it in my body. Even though I didn't actually understand what she was doing or saying, there was something that pulled me to keep listening. Who's ever done that? Who's like, I don't know what this language is. My brain doesn't comprehend, but there's something about it that just absolutely pulls me. It was like my body was just like, whoa, like whatever that is, there's something going on here. But I genuinely didn't even explore it. I never thought it was ever going to happen for me, where I remembered mine. And so 2 months later, in an experience that I called the light language lightning bolt, was when it just landed hard. I had an experience where, a lot of you know this, I won't go into it for this session, but if you want to know more, I am going to go into the Light Language Mastery series, which if you want to join that, it's a free group. The link, I've just added the link in the comments above. I'm going to start a Light Language Mastery series, okay? And there's like so many aspects to remembering your light language, and it's never, ever, ever what you think it is. It's never, ever, ever what you think it is. It's never. It's in fact, I guarantee it's the polar opposite of what you think. For you to remember your light language is going to be the polar opposite of what you think it is now. But I'm going to take you through a series. Now, how do I know this stuff? Is because my light language is source energy, and source energy gives me information. So ever since it happened, I actually started my first experience. I was speaking 4 different light languages. 4 different beings were actually communicating in light language to each other through my vessel. This was the lightning bolt moment that happened. I was driving my car and light language just started, and I didn't know. Interestingly, it pulled me so much. I didn't want to stop like speaking it because it felt amazing. I'm not going to lie. For those of you that speak light language, please put your hand up, little emoji, and let me know, like, how good does it feel when you allow light language to flow? And also, who would like to, I want to share with you my light languages after this, towards the end of the session. But so ever since that happened, I have actually been in, I can have the most powerful releases with light. I feel energy in my legs. Yes, 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 Jess. Perfect. I love that you're sharing that, because this is excellent. This is excellent. It's really leading into, especially those who really feel called, or even I want to semi-identify or identify with being a light worker. This message is for you. In 2021 is the optimization year. It's a year of optimization. It keeps dropping in for me, sources like optimization, optimization, optimization. And one of the pieces of optimization has everything to do with your light language. With your light language, your discovery of light language, and actually self-purifying and self-activating with light language. So since that moment that I had with the 4 beings actually speaking through me, 2 were interdimensional beings, Pleiadians. I am actually Pleiadian. I'm part of the Pleiadian alliance. It sounds crazy to human beings, and it would have been crazy to me, a year ago. But it is the truth. Is that I have a Pleiadian alliance. In fact, I was born, my soul star, the sun, my soul was directly, when I was born, I was directly opposite the Pleiades. So it's like I dropped from Pleiades straight into this little human body in the Philippines. It was like perfect timing for me. And interesting, I was actually born premature. So it was just like, I think it was like, my soul was just waiting for the alignment from Pleiades to drop down, and like I was just born, yeah. And I was so premature, I actually bled from the eyes. I was so little, like I was tiny, and I was in the Philippines, so in some cases my mom said like I really should have died, not in a negative way, but like my physical condition. But when soul chose, soul chooses, right? So, and also I have an alliance with ancient earth, lots of ancient lineages, and a lot of Asian and African as well, ancient African and definitely Asian. I've been many Asian men in many of my lives. I've seen that before. So light language, when that actually started, after the shock of light language, or of discovering these languages, I started to build a relationship with it. And in fact, not just a relationship, I've actually been able to really create an experience globally, where I actually not just teach it, I facilitate with light language and cause massive transformation. So I know the power, empowerment and power of light language. The empowerment when you have the ability to actually self-purify and self-heal and self-activate with your light language, and then the next step being to be able to facilitate purification, healing, and activations with others with your light language. But the first and foremost step is to surrender and build a relationship with your language. Build a relationship with your language, which is building a relationship with surrendering. Building a relationship with surrendering. It's another thing that we like, oh, I need to learn this, but no, you actually don't. You need to unlearn that. You need to unlearn everything else to really drop into the frequency, the flow, uncorrupted flow of light language. So how does light language work? Well, as I said, it's pure frequency, uncorrupted. When I say uncorrupted, it's untainted with blockages. When we try to speak a language, we actually have to engage our brains, yeah? With light language, it's basically speaking directly from intention, directly from the heart. It's like the most fluent, it's so fluent, yeah? But when you're trying to actually speak it, and actually create language around it, it has to bypass, the language has to bypass your brain, and your brain is then is shifting and changing and corrupting, like I said, disrupting the flow. Yeah, so it's not fluent. But when you actually speak it, express language without bypassing the brain, it is pure. It's pure. And our bodies and our soul actually feel it and understand it. Yeah. So light language is directed by intention. So this mastery series that we're going to experience over the next couple of weeks, and you can just come along and be a part of it. There's no, I'm really, it's interesting. I actually had this experience, this download today from Spirit when I was in the middle of my training. I was just like, whoa, it just hit me. I wanted to leave training because I wanted to do this straight away, but I was like, nope, I got to devote to my vessel. And I was like, no, I need to do this. So because of this next phase for us being optimization, I just feel really cool to remind you of your ability of the language. So if you're curious, join the group. It's free. Just join the group. There's going to be sessions. You're going to see me pop up. Everything to do with optimization of your language. So it can be directed, and you can actually self-purify. When I first started doing light language and I first started facilitating the light language, I had massive experiences of like breakdowns. I was exhausted. When you allow universal energy to flow through you, every single time you allow it, you are causing upgrades within your own vessel, first and foremost. And then it's the next step of sharing it. But first and foremost, it is your sovereign duty for yourself, for your soul, for your mission, for your purpose. Can you imagine if once you cracked open your ability and relationship with your light language, that you would cause more clarity in what you're here to do? Can you imagine that being a possibility? Yes. This is why Spirit spoke so loud to me today. Spirit, Source, the universe, God, whatever you want to name the consciousness, right? The energetic consciousness that is here in support of us, our evolution, the evolution of Gaia. Source is calling us forward to remind us of our ability to self-purify, to self-heal, to self-activate by tuning in to the universal language. Reiki is also a form of light language. Who does Reiki? Put your hands up. It's like silent light language, but it's still light language. Reiki is light language. It's unspoken, but it's universal flow. When you do the chakra rays, what you're doing, you're not communicating outside of yourself. When you do the chakra rays, when you've made that agreement, when you've done your first session, who does Reiki? Put it in the comments, please. When you actually learn the word chakra ray, yeah, as a portal opening, right? You land your own permission. You anchor in your own subconscious permission to open your channels, surrender, relax, and be a conduit. Receive, flow, allowing yourself, your physical self, to be an open portal for universal communication, universal healing to actually course through you. When you do the chakra rays, you're not speaking to spirit outside of yourself. You're actually speaking to your brain, allowing your brain to surrender, because that's the whole purpose. So when we're doing light language, oh, hey, Jace. When we're doing light language, similarly, there has to be an aspect of surrender. So for me, when I first started doing light language, and I was just like my first thing was like, what was that? Is that even real? I sound like I'm going crazy. I told my partner I thought I was going crazy. He was like, you okay? And I was like, no, I think I'm going crazy. I started just speaking all these different languages, and I'm like, what? So now I channel and speak and communicate in various languages: Pleiades, ancients, earth, fairies. Who's experienced my light language before? The light language that comes through me, the universal languages. So where I was going with that was, when you surrender, oh, that's what I did. So I was like, what even is this? Like, this is weird. I've gone crazy. It's weird. Same, I just laughed so much. Right, P? I was like, okay, so if this has to be something, because it's really easy. Once I surrendered to it and I kept surrendering, the first initial piece wasn't surrender. First initial piece was, am I crazy? Second initial piece was like, okay, so there must be something here. So I started to explore it myself. I wanted to see if I could do it again. It's like, can I do this again? So it actually started with me trying to like just, and then eventually I was able to just let it flow. But now it's actually just part of my dialogue. And interestingly, because I'm surrounded by beautiful, beautiful light workers who I have you call it a little school, a light worker school, but we have a tribe of light workers who I mentor and guide, and who also mentor and guide me, to say, like, I'm always learning from everybody. But we actually we have the ability to communicate to each other through light language, because we've so attuned to each other's light language and our own light language. So for those of you that feel it, actually, who wants to experience it if you haven't before? I know some of you have before. And one thing that I really want to land is that this is not about glamorizing anything, because glamorization is not a thing for me. I don't need to glamorize anything, but I am here. I have to speak this. I have to speak and share this message with you, because if it's not spoken, you're suppressing parts of yourself and you're suppressing your communication with the universe. And what I have found, since now that I actually communicate openly with my light language, even to myself, with others, I host a really really potent experience called Awaken Your Life Force. We have been to different places in Australia, but now it's Brisbane based only, this experience. And there's so much transformation that takes place because of the light languages that go through that space. In fact, honestly, it's wild. It's so wild that the lights flicker in the room. These beautiful bulbs, when the energy is high with light language in the room, it's like the lights flicker. It's just crazy, the energy. So awesome. I will share it. But yes, before I do, I really want to let you know that I always operate from the highest integrity and virtue, according to, you could say, God's will, Source's will, the consciousness will. Yeah, there's no corruption in my intention. And for me to speak about this and to let you know that I'm not here to glamorize it, but I am here as a voice for you to remember your light language, and also for you to not feel abnormal because you speak light language. Light language should be normalized. It's a level of freedom that we get to experience within ourselves. There is no harm in light language. There is no harm in light language. When you have the purest of intentions, there's no harm in light language. And you can light language somebody, but without their sovereign permission to receive what you're putting down, you can't harm anyone else. So there's another thing that I actually want to share with you. I still have fear around speaking it, so I tend to sing it in the sound baths I offer. Perfect. Have been shut down in the past. Would love to have more opportunity to speak. So join the group, Fiona. If you join the group in the comments, it's going to be an open forum to actually explore your light language. I'm going to share a series so we can literally it be normalized. Now, I want to let you know, there is no harm in light language. None. Only if you're permission bearing to receive the frequency. So I'm going to give you an example. So intention wise, any of the intention, even if my light language sounds mildly aggressive, there is no intention of harm. Yeah, usually the mildly aggressive light language is usually a wake up call. Okay. Some people, you may go, oh God, their language sounds harmful, or they could even have the intention of harm in their light language. But as a sovereign being, you do not have to soak any, you are so sovereign in your decision that no light language can impact you unless you allow it to. So the communication, if I was to share with you a light language with optimal healing, yeah, the optimal healing light language shared with you, it is your sovereign choice and receiving to receive it and allow your own vessel, your own brain, to receive it, to activate your own self-healing in your body. Does this make sense? Someone could speak to you in light language. It could sound harmful, but it's your sovereign duty to yourself to not allow it. It's like anyone yelling in your face. It's up to you whether you allow it to harm you or don't. Same for light language. So whatever stories there are with light language being evil, that's a story. It's impossible if you don't let it actually penetrate you and affect you. It's like anything. Okay? Does that make sense? So even when I'm activating with light language, all I'm doing, okay, is activating your own sensory abilities to activate activation in your body. I'm a spark, you're the activator. Yeah? I'm the spark to your healing because the frequency will activate your own self-healing abilities or self-purification. But it's not me that's doing it. It's actually you that's purifying yourself and self-healing. So as a light language facilitator, we're here as the spark, but we're not doing the thing. And the reason why I'm starting the Mastery series is so you can understand your own ability with your own light language, so you don't need me. And you don't need someone else to activate your self-healing through light language. You can actually activate your own. So you can actually sit with yourself and cause upgrades within your own vessel, yeah, with your own light language once it's discovered, once it's learned, or not learned, get that out of, once it's remembered, you can actually self-heal and self-purify and self-activate. Is that making sense? Good morning. Love you. I love hearing the messages that you allow to come through you. Thank you. I love you. So actually, I would love, before I start, I would love for you to share this video, because the reason why is because I feel like there are so many, there could be people in your network that feel so alone in the light language journey. And it is, if it's just one person that notices it, thank you, Jody. If it's one person that notices it, you're helping a brother or sister, you're helping humanity. One person equals humanity. Yeah. So if you could share this message with there's no attachment around who it is, but at least share it in the knowing that you could possibly be helping someone out of a rut, because it can be really isolating and alone, thinking that you've got this language that comes through, but you feel crazy. No one understands it. Allow them to be called into a space, or even yourself to be called into a space where you feel safe and it's normalized and it's not weird. It's actually a medicine. It's a tool. We are the sound bowl. If you think a sound bowl has the ability to actually heal, what makes you think that we don't? We are more powerful than a sound bowl. We go to sound bowl sessions to self-heal. Have a session with me. I'll activate your self-healing through light language and sounds. Truly, we are the sound bowl. So, for those of you that want to experience even just, let me just check the time here. Oh, great timing. Thank you. For you that you want to experience this, and again, I'm not here to glamorize it. I know I'm going to be showing up on a very public page, and some people are going to look past and go, what is she doing? It's so weird. So I'm going to add context to this. I'm sharing with you an example of what light language sounds like, but this example is also going to offer you an experience of what it feels like. Now, light language isn't language for your brain. I'm not going to share it for your mind. You're not going to understand it. It's taken me a year to actually build that relationship so I actually understand what's coming through. I understand what it's coming through now, but not, it's taken me a year to really master the art of translating my own light languages. So I have various that come through. So I'm going to do 3 different languages. I'm going to offer 3 different languages. For this to, the best way to experience this, if this is something that you want to experience, is with your eyes closed. If you have headphones or a speaker, and allowing the sound to really penetrate. Yeah. So don't watch me because that's weird. No, I'm kidding. I really don't mind. So for those of you that are open to receiving this transmission, I just want to land and anchor in the purity of any frequency that comes through me, through source. I receive, I respect, I am open, I'm protected. In this space, you're also very, very, very protected. Archangel Michael always works with me, works with us, and has wings as big as planet Earth. So we're all very protected in this space right now. Know that you are very safe receiving any of these transmissions, any transmissions that course through me as well. I am a conduit for the universal sounds. I am a tool for expression. We are tools of expression. We are the amplification of what the universe, source energy, God, is here to communicate with us, to enable us to remember our purest form of empowerment and our birthright of full expression. Before I do get started, I do request for you to actually, I request for permission. Your permission to receive this transmission. Please actually type it in the comments so I can see and I know that you give me permission. And for those of you that are noticing why I'm tapping, is that it's the energy that is actually coursing through me. So I have to keep moving. So please, may I have your permission before I actually start? And can you hear me? Is it loud and clear? So today, before I do, I will transmit whatever comes through, and you'll notice in your hearing that there are various different sounds that come through. Now the sounds, the intention behind the sounds today is purely for remembrance, always remembrance. There's always a deep layer of remembrance for you, for your own remembrance, and permission. Permission for you to be fully expressed in all areas. Light language can come through in writing, in drawing, in sound. Some communicate in codes, sigils. In this case, it's sound. Dia surra kimbrata hayya sendralia kundara ingya kukurete sila tanga areta doroto kuskunde tiara kususehachi sheke imbara eaka nesia la nyana sakia. La nyana casa hia nalia. Kula lianya nongana se tekia taratia si. Titire tia sora tenyana la hia sakura. Takundara iala arata hesesia kukumia tia. Kuka ia kingias katura renya sasia kokoreti ia beti kikuarata. Alia tukuskiata inyert urasa. Atki es yes siaku sialata mesiatu ukasa meskiata mesiuat as iku aki as isi amiki sa So, how many did you notice? I can feel the energy still coursing through me, so I have to keep, I feel like, woo, woo. How many did you notice? So that was a little tiny taster at our awaken ceremonies. It gets wild. There's a lot of transformation that happens in that place because we're fully supported. Yes, you noticed. Beautiful. The first one was very noticeable to me. Perfect. Now, noticeable also means that it's resonant. Different first time I've witnessed. Noticeable means that if there's a resonance in there, it could possibly mean that you have a similar language, a lot of energy. 4, yeah. Are we multilingual? Yes, of course. It has everything to do with how much you're willing to surrender and not label it. Just activated me. So I joined you. Yes. And that's the point. Yes. That is the point, to activate your very own language so you can actually truly feel the power, the empowerment. Imagine sitting in a bath and light languaging your bath. It's inside you. It's you. It is who you are. It's freedom of expression. If you could feel how amazing that feels to course through, it's like I literally, if I could, I would just sit there all day. Actually, I do sit there a lot, and I will actually just communicate with spirit through light language. My light language is a communication tool for me and spirit. I can ask questions in English and get an answer in light language because it's very uncorrupted. It's flow. And you all have this ability. You all have this ability. You just need to take the steps to learn how to surrender to it, to breathe into existence. Yes. Love. So for those of you that are curious, the link in the post is I'm going to share a masterclass series. I don't even know how long it's going to be or whatever it's going to be. It's just going to unfold. It's just going to unfold itself. I'm just going to follow the Pools source teachings. And there's going to be sessions that you can just tune into whenever you want and learn for yourself. Sit with the sessions, because the sessions are going to really guide us into the surrender piece and then the activation. So you too can have this. It can be your own sovereign gift. It doesn't need to be shared. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You don't have to go, but there's some of you that feel so pulled to share it, right? So allow this to also be an opportunity to feel normal. Yeah, let's stop labeling as weird and abnormal, because I'm certainly not weird. I am a little bit weird, but we're all the same. We're all the same. Super sane and insane. And we get to be, as long as we're not causing harm, as long as we have intentions of integrity and virtue and love and care and compassion and truth and forgiveness, we have such strong abilities. We are able. We're able. This is why we're here, to discover our ableness, to discover our communication with spirit, to not have to rely on others. We get to commune with others, and we get to facilitate, we get to be cared for by others, but we don't have to rely on others for our own healings. But we also get to support others, and we also, it gets to be such a sovereign journey. But so if you haven't yet, today I'm going to actually go live in there soon, today at some stage, and I'm going to start off like just with the information that you need to understand how the series is going to work and how it's going to work for you, and then we'll just go from there. So, and the sessions will be live and replayable. So if you don't get on the sessions, you get to actually replay it at your own leisure whenever it feels good to you. I'll put all of the sessions in the units so no one misses out. So you can actually really be on your own self-discovery journey with your light language, knowing that the language is your power. The language is not harmful. The language is not harmful. And once you learn to master it, you will understand that there will be so much clarity that comes through for you, for your own mission, for your own purpose, whatever that is, whatever industry you're in, you'll allow more clarity. Source energy flowing through you allows you clarity. So I love you all so much, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing, those who shared the video. Thanks for joining us in the activation, in the master classes. For those of you that have already invited yourselves, I'm excited to work with you. I'm excited to play with you. I'm excited to guide you back to your empowerment and your superpowers, because this is what Source is really calling forth for her people, Gaia, the people of the world, humanity, to really remember our own power at a time when we've been experiencing disempowerment. So I love you, and I will see you again next week. For those who don't feel called, it's all perfect. I love you, I respect you, and I will see you again soon. Bye. Mwah.